the Carnivore from WorkTuff Gear. WorkTuff makes some really bomb-proof stuff, made in Taiwan. So I really like the name Carnivore, and just the way this knife looks reminds me of like a dinosaur. It reminds me of a dinosaur for some reason, like Jurassic Park or something. So it's very fitting that it's called the Carnivore. Just a really cool looking design. We're gonna do a series of tests and tasks that are orientated around outdoors, camping, survival, bushcraft, and see how well this thing does. And take a real good look at this, get really acquainted with this knife, and just really get to know the ins and outs of the blade and how it performs. So if you guys are ready, let's take a closer look. It's got a real solid sheath. There's no rattle or anything like that. It's good and locked into place, good and solid. It comes with this nice little dangler that has a snap and a button, which I like. And there is the blade. We're gonna go over this thing tip to pommel. Has this nice rounded pommel down here, locking your hand in from sliding out, giving you kind of a bird's beak down here. Nice thick handle, nice robust. Comes up to this nice comfortable guard up here. So not only are you locked in ergonomically, but you're getting all this traction from this texturing that's all over the handle. This is one of the most ergonomic handles ever. WorkTuff does such a good job with their handles. They are hand melting ergonomics. You got this forward finger choil. Gives you plenty of room to get your whole finger in there, and it's nice and comfortable. It's rounded down on the edges, chamfered on the edges there. We've got a good spot for your thumb back here that's also been chamfered down before you get to a super crisp spine on the back here. You've got multiple lashing points, so you can do some sort of lanyard configuration or lash this to something like a pole or whatever, so you can make like a spear or just extend the reach of your cutting ability. And then the finish on this is just gorgeous, this apocalyptic finish. Really dig that. This really decorative fuller is really cool. I mean, not only does it look cool, but it does some weight reduction, and then it gives you more traction on the knife if you need to get up behind the blade and hold it. You've got a good spot to pinch and hold and grip. You've got this really high saber grind. You get a pretty thin cutting geometry and behind the edge thickness for how thick the blade stock is. You get a convexed V edge, and you've got this real nice straight back. You get this really long straight edge here, and then gets to a nice tip, and then you get a nice little belly on the end. Another thing to note here is that this knife is pretty lightweight. It's a thick, hard use knife, but it's still very nimble. And your balance point is pretty much right where you'd want your finger to be. Right here, essentially where your finger is. I'm not somebody who obsesses over the balance of a blade, but that just makes this knife feel that much more nimble with the balance being right there. Absolutely fantastic. I have this whole knife down, and because of the angle of the handle and the pommel of the handle, I have complete knuckle clearance here. I have a feeling that's going to be really excellent for food prep. That's how it rides with the dangler on. I could put it on the back side here. Could leave it here. And it's not that bad, honestly. Maybe if I was hiking a long distance through the woods or something, I wouldn't like that. But I'd much prefer this than having this way up on my hip. We need to do some batoning here. I think we'll start off the show with some baton. So here's this thing. I was gonna do this one with my Tops machete, and I decided against it, probably for the best. I have a feeling this is gonna be no problem at all. So this is a pretty gnarly piece. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty gnarly piece. It's all twisted and knotted up, grain. Oh man, I am so glad I got this knife. This thing is an absolute beast. Yes. I'm not going to be disappointed in this knife at all. That's a solid piece of wood. That one was pretty gnarly, just full of giant knots. Before we get too crazy, I should show you how sharp it is. So before I started, I knew it was shaving sharp. I didn't show you that it was shaving sharp. And I'd batoned this through a couple really gnarly pieces of wood. But I just wanted to show you. That that's how sharp it is. And we'll use that as a reference point, so when we're done doing all the tasks, we can check the sharpness and see how easy it is to touch up the blade. So I'm curious to see how well this thing carves. And we're gonna do some fine carving with this, but I'm also going to try to do the kind of carving that I would do with a hatchet when I'm carving a spoon. Alright, so let's start with the chop. Keep in mind this piece of wood is also extremely hard. Watch out, doggy. So yeah, it just doesn't have the weight. Let's try carving a tent stake here. Gonna take this corner. So apparently I wasn't recording. I've been doing a lot of finer details, just trying to get it as refined, or try to get it more refined, I should say, just using this knife. And honestly, it's not too bad. I mean, it's a giant knife with a V edge, so it's not gonna be great. Keep in mind that I could have carved this out of a stick or a small branch and been done immediately. I carved this out of a pretty big piece of hard cherry wood that was almost all the way dry, just super hard wood. I think it's cherry anyway. Its carving capabilities is really not too bad for what it is. Get it, Thea. Get it. Get it, Thea. Grab it. Pull it. Yeah, there you go. You got the tent stake. Did you get it? Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Give it back. Give it back. Can I have it back? Can I have the tent stake back? Can I have it back? You little butthead. Alrighty guys, so we've done some carving and some batoning with this thing. So next, let's do some fire making. We'll cut up some feather sticks here and we will throw some sparks and see how this thing does in fire prep. Exploring this knife, this tool, as a one tool option or a survival knife. Next we're going to do fire making, feather sticks and striking the ferro rod. But first we've got to get to the dry wood, and If this is the only tool you have, you're going to need to be able to use it to get into the dry wood in the center here. So we're going to see how well this thing chops first. So that wasn't too bad. About the same thickness. It's a little thicker, but this wood is considerably harder. This is like a seasoned piece of cherry wood. So that didn't take us a ton of time or a ton of effort. It took about 3 minutes to get through that. So yeah, that's what you're looking at for your chopping capability with this knife. It's a little better than I thought it would be, honestly. It can sure do it. There are better options out there for sure. If you're looking for a knife and you want one of its main qualities to be chopping, I probably wouldn't recommend this, but okay at chopping. Maybe 5 or 6 out of 10 if I were to have to rate it or something like that. 6, 5. So you've chopped it in half with your carnivore. For a big knife with a V grind on it, it doesn't do terrible. So this thing scrapes a fire steel extremely well. They put a real sharp spine on this thing. It is a little awkward because it's huge though, but didn't have very much issue getting that started. But yeah, this thing throws sparks super good. Probably the best spark thrower I have out of all my knives. It's pretty impressive. It's a lot duller at the base. I think that's where most of my carving was. A lot of my hard push cuts were taking place at, but that's still pretty sharp. A dull knife isn't going to cut through this stuff. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and just touch this up a little bit. With the Work Sharp. If you're wondering how I got this rod out of the Work Sharp, I have a video on that if you want to check that out. Now we're doing this with the Work Sharp just to demonstrate how easy it is to bring back an edge to life out in the field, which is super important if you're relying on this as a survival tool. It's just a bomb-proof tool. It's just really good. This is one of my favorite blades of all time. I've only had it for a couple weeks and I can tell you it's definitely see how much, I mean, you guys probably can't tell if it's any sharper or not, but I just did a little couple passes with the ceramic and the strop on the Work Sharp, and it feels to me like it's meeting less resistance through the paper. So when we're talking batoning, this thing is more than capable. It's not the best batoner in the world, but it's such a big hunk of steel that it's not going to have any problems getting through most anything that you try to pound this through. It handles it like a champ. It doesn't have like that wood splitting geometry when you pound it through the log, but it gets the job done. When we're talking about carving, this is a big, nimble knife, so it's really big, and usually carving with a big knife isn't ideal, but given the blade shape and the lightness and balance of this knife, it's pretty good at carving. I was able to carve that tent peg. I tried to chop it out like I would a spoon and axe it, which wasn't very effective because of how light it is, but it was able to do it. And with the finer cuts and details, it's able to carve, and I think that's just because of the shape of it. It's shaped like a puko. It has that straight back, which I really like, and pukos are really good at carving. So it's okay at feather sticking, just as good as a VA edge can get basically for this size of a knife. If you're looking for a dedicated bushcraft knife, this is not it. I wouldn't recommend this for just using it as a bushcraft knife, but this is definitely a really bomb-proof survival knife. I don't know if I would necessarily call this like a tactical knife, but this would be a good bug out knife, truck knife, survival knife. This is a really good do-it-all knife. This is something you could carry on you wherever you are, and it could do everything that you need a big knife to do. But if I was going to go out and just have a dedicated bushcraft knife with me, this would not be my top choice, even though it can perform in that arena. It held an edge really good. I have no nicks or chips on this edge. It is perfect, and it stayed oh so sharp. At the end of all the cutting and tests I did, it didn't even need touched up, and it was still just slicing really good. So guys, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Give me some feedback. Does the audio look okay? Does the sound okay? I've really been trying to get the picture good and the audio good. I have a new mic and a new camera, and I've really been trying to get into the editor and really fine tune the sound and the color grade. So just a little bit of feedback would be nice. So guys, that is it. That is the WorkTuff Gear Carnivore Gen 2. I really liked reviewing this knife and getting to know this knife. This is my favorite knife I've had and handled in a really, really long time. This is automatically top 5 like best knives I've ever had, just right off the bat. I can tell that I'm really gonna like this. Gonna use this for everything. I'm gonna take this on all my adventures. This thing is just absolutely fantastic. Just from this, I can just tell that all the WorkTuff Gear stuff is just gonna be phenomenal. If you guys are interested in this knife, I have no idea how you can get your hands on one, but I would look on the secondary market, and if you're even questioning getting this knife, you should just get it. This thing is just that awesome. Alrighty guys, well that's gonna be it. This is Jake and from Timberfall Craft, and we will see you guys later.